Hello, gorgeous Scorpio. Welcome to October 2019. We are heading into your season very swiftly here as the sun moves through Libra in October and right into your sign around the 23rd of October. And of course, many of you probably have noticed that lead up toward your birthday, the Libra season, can be a really big catalyst, a really big time of checking in and integrating, slowing down and listening in really carefully to your whole process, right? Your whole integrative process. And this is a really intensive, powerful time. The note that came up for you right away for me when I felt into your energy was you may feel very introverted as you lead into Scorpio season. There may be a sense that your light's kind of going inward and you're really being deliberate about what is working for you, what is feeling good. You're really deliberate about your thoughts and emotions, and you may be noticing that there's a lot of clarity internally. And not so much with the external balancing out of things, but a lot of truth-seeking clarity going on internally where you get an answer about something that maybe has been haunting you, or maybe you've been thinking about a lot, or maybe you've been questioning. Your ruling planet Pluto is going direct right away at the beginning of the month in Capricorn, in your third house of communication. So this is going to help facilitate some of that mental clarity within yourselves. I think that will really help you if you have had things that have felt a little unclear, or a little uncertain, or where you've needed a little bit more balancing or harmony. Pluto going direct really helps us move through that, especially Scorps. Mercury is also entering your sign on the 3rd as well. And Mercury is getting ready for a retrograde in Scorpio. These are all very contemplative energies. And there's this sense of everything being slowing down and nurturing you a little bit into some truths. Also, Mars is entering Libra, your 12th house energy. The sign right before you always has this spiritual, spooky, hidden energy to it, which is where we do a lot of our deepest diving and our reconnective. And it's a co-ruler. Mars is a co-ruler with you. So when Mars is in your 12th house like that, it's also taking that Martian energy and applying it to the more spiritual aspects of yourself. So you can see the way this energy is working. It is trying to get you to pay attention to your physical body and your spiritual well-being and connect the dots. Venus is entering your sign as well this month, October 8th. Now that is some very sensual, loving, focused energy. We have a full moon in Aries, and that's in your 6th house. And this is where I'm going to get to something I think really interesting that I think is coming up for Scorps and I didn't realize this is what I was going to start bringing up till I started shuffling and sitting here and talking with you, but trauma and memory and lived experience doesn't just live up here in our head. We are, fully connected through our body. So Aries full moon is going to be illuminating where maybe you have emotion trapped in your body, and where you need to physically move it out, whether that be with hiking or yoga. Hermit energy. Yep. I just listened to a little talk that Martha Beck had on her Facebook page. Martha Beck is amazing, by the way. So for anybody who's looking for somebody who's going to be both very entertaining and also very good at cutting to the chase, she was talking about trauma. 4 of Wands. Happiness comes from within, right? How trauma is stored throughout the body, and that was specifically trauma. Not all of you will be dealing with traumas or releasing traumas, but what I'm saying is emotion and truth are going to be coming through your body. And so you may be finding that you're needing more expression in safe spaces with that. And Martha Beck was talking about how, emotion moves through the body and we need to shake it. Our body craves that shaking to integrate our spirit, our mental neural pathways, and our physical neural pathways all the way through our bodies, not just in our brain, but quite literally throughout the body. And I feel like that's kind of a theme for you guys. So creating enough safe spaces, Hierophant. Earthy energy working with you here. Grounding energy working with you here big time. Emperor. There's that full moon in Aries, right? This is a month to create a lot of safe spaces for you to do that. We also have, the sun obviously moves into Scorpio on the 23rd, and then we have a new moon in Scorpio on the 27th, and then Mercury goes retrograde in your sign on Halloween, October 31st. So the energy is going to start pouring really intensely into your sign in October and get very real, get really focused on what it is that's coming up. Ace of Cups. But this month is actually quite supportive. So on the collective front, this is a month of warmth, connection, communication, clarity. Three of Swords. This is the most Scorpio reading with the Ace of Cups and the Three of Swords right there. But that's what we're talking about with releasing pain. Releasing pain. And Knight of Swords. What was I just saying? Oh yeah, this is a month of really deep truth and clarity. We're not trying to live in the mystic unknown. This is a month where a lot of answers and closure and opening up are happening. As you all know, your energy, the Scorpio energy, Queen of Swords. Got a lot of swords at the top here. And the bottom of the deck is Ten of Cups. Let's just include that because that's just beautiful. Your energy is truth-seeking. You all know that. You don't want BS. You don't want things that are fake. You want the truth. You want real. You want quality. You want that powerful type of experience. That's what you want in life. And this month has that energy. Libran energy as well wants to connect, wants to communicate, wants to clarify. And so these energies are very refining. And for you, it's a lot more personal. It's about your personal journey and also about how you're connecting with your body within that. Now, what's really interesting here is I find that we want to shake loose old emotions when we have new stuff coming in. We have new truths coming in. And so therefore, when we get a whole infusion of a lot of powerful, positive energy in our direction, any old emotive things, layers that are held within our physical body, energetically, physically, are going to want to get shaken loose. And I don't want you to fight against that process because it doesn't mean that you're going back to relive an old pattern. It just means you're shaking something loose because you don't fit the mold of who you've been before. We're leading into your birthday season. We're leading into a time of year where you have your own little personal rebirth with the sun moving through your sign. And therefore, it makes sense that your old versions are coming up to be released so that you can move forward. And, thematically it works so well, right? So here's the thing, you look at these first four cards, like these are such strong energies. Look at all that major arcana that we have working with you, Scorps. Hermit, Four of Wands, Hierophant, and Emperor. All of those major arcanas, right? They're all masculine elders. They are, father figures, grandfather figures, and authoritative figures, right? We're kind of covering the ground of masculine leadership, masculine fathering energy, the older lineage. Now, you can look at that a couple of ways. One thing that's coming up for a lot of people is releasing what is not theirs when it comes to what they inherited for patterning, for thinking, for emotion in the physical body, in their mental state from our parents. From our father's line, a lot of times, mother's line as well, both lines. So that's one thing that I'm noticing coming up here. The other thing with these energies, though, is that the masculine elder energy is really important because it is an initiator, right? So like the hermit wants to take you through the labyrinth of the internal in order for you to seek truth within yourself and know it. And this is ancient wisdom. This is, man on the mountain wisdom that comes through you. And that is where you're going to, all your answers for this month are going to be, you already have them at the beginning of the month, I guarantee. And what you will be asked to do throughout the month of October and into your birthday season is to act according to what you already know from that internal information. Now, what I am noticing, Four of Wands and Hierophant is commitment energy. Happy commitment energy too. This is about stability, stable commitment, long-term investment in emotional connection. And these are very positive energies. And Scorps, I think it's safe to say that for you, a little bit of that intensive consistency is very good for your hearts and your souls. It helps hold you and nurture you. So if you have this type of energy in your life, I think you're going to be noticing it's pulling towards you to commit to those things, to commit to those safe people, those safe relationships, those safe spaces, and those safe projects. Now, this is very good energy. This is so good. This is so good for you. This is heart-based, loving energy, full of richness and love. So you get asked to look internal, to connect a piece, to go external, connect it with those around you. And Hierophant is Taurus energy. It's your opposing sign, your relational sign. This is a really powerful time for connectivity in general. We're all connecting, building those bridges. So you got that going on here. And you also have the Emperor. So some of you may be dealing with an Aries or a Taurus, I'm not sure. But the Emperor is the dad, right? Aries energy, officially Aries energy is kind of the warrior, but the Emperor is the father figure, the patriarch, which of course, I don't know if that's everybody's favorite word at the moment. Patriarchy is not. We're having a transformation about what that means. But the Emperor in its best form is about visionary leadership, and it's about owning your space, and it's about looking forward and not looking back over your shoulder. And a big part of what I'm noticing is we have that internal integration with Virgo energy, with the Hermit energy, but with the Emperor energy, it's like you got to keep moving forward. It's no time for you to keep buying into any old patterning, buying into any old storylines. This time is a time for you to just focus forward. And that's what's interesting here with these top cards, because there's something about you connecting really deeply with something that you really care about. This isn't just run-of-the-mill, yeah, I kind of like that project, I kind of like that person. This is something you really care about. And it is bringing up, I don't think the hugest, because most of these cards, quite honestly, are very positive and supportive of you. They hold you safe. They hold you in that container. They help you nurture, integrate, release that any physical manifestations of pain in your body and hold you so that you move forward. However, there is this little voice of pain that wants to come up. And that's why I said, Ace of Cups, Three of Swords, wow, because when we start to have that real opening, and an Ace of Cups is about a new energetic cycle when it comes to your emotions and your relationships. And you've got that Four of Wands, you've got that Hierophant, and that Ten of Cups is at the top too. Those are happy partnership cards. Those are happy relational cards. Ace of Cups, the best and happiest of relational cards, because it means your cup is full, you are able to give. But this Three of Swords, past traumas, past heartaches, past fears, past pain is popping right up. So maybe noticing that, when you get into Ace of Cups mode fully, it is very vulnerable. There is no such thing as armor here, because you are just sharing of your overflow. You are just sharing of your natural inherent way. And that is causing this heart opening, and that means that you do not have armor on. And the fear that comes up with that, with our self-protective, is that immediately we're going to get stabbed once this heart is open. And Scorps, I know how deeply you feel and how much you have had to work in this life on protecting yourself. Finding ways to keep your heart. In many ways, the Three of Swords is a Scorpio's worst nightmare. To open and trust like that and to be stabbed like that is just a nightmare. It is a nightmare, right? And I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. The Three of Swords doesn't make sense in the context of the Ace of Cups. They don't work together. They can't coexist in the same reality, the same frequency. They just cannot. And the thing is that you have a lot more powerful energy in the Ace of Cups than the Three of Swords ever will, but this voice likes to come up when we've really fully stepped into a new version of ourselves. Now here's the thing, you've got the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords, and these are pretty harsh, cutting energies. They can be, right? Because they are going to just be blunt. They're going to say what they think. They're not going to hold back or lie or just kind of avoid something. And what I'm noticing here is that you may be noticing the conversations you have either with people that you're committing to or projects you're committing to or just the people that you're close to in life, that they are just wanting to have the conversations. They are just wanting to get in there and and have directed, focused conversations. They don't want to keep things hidden or behind the scenes. They want to clarify. They want to clarify where there maybe has been pain. They want to clarify what they really mean. They want to hear from you what you really mean. There's this desire for truth coming up here for you. And maybe that is scary. Maybe it's scary to think about the conversations you could be having, the vulnerability you have to have in showing fully of yourself. But these characters, whether you're dealing with air signs or you're just dealing with your own desire to have truth or others' desire to have truth or both, this is good energy because we need the energy to move. This is not a month to stagnate. And this is not a month where we are stagnating and we're being asked to sit back and just wait and daydream. This is a month where the words are being said, the moments are being shared. So the big advice I can give you is just prepare for that. If you have things that you want to say or share and you have vulnerable points that really matter to you to share, start thinking about them, write them out. Let yourself know first what it is that you're really wanting to share with another. And when those times come, you'll feel a little bit more empowered in that. Because here's the thing, your payout for continuing to stay open and letting people know what you really need, because they have no way of knowing your secret internal world, Scorpio. It goes deep, and those of us outside of it can't know. We can't know it all. So you got to help us out. You got to help us out. For those of us who are outside of you know what it is that's going on. But if you're willing to share with the people that deserve it, with the people who really are going to hold you and be safe, I'm not asking you all to sacrificially share of yourselves. The Ten of Cups is here. How we get to the Ten of Cups is we have real conversations. We are truthful with what we need. We ask for what we need and we listen to what another needs. And we're willing to show up even knowing that our hearts will be exposed. I don't want you to forget with those who deserve your vulnerability. And I mean that with those people who are consistent with you, who clearly care about you. You don't have to be in this modality for people who repeatedly hurt you, repeatedly ignore you. That is not advice I would give. I'm going to be pulling one more card from my Cosmic Tarot for your reading today. But for those that or if you just have something you need to say, do it for yourself. We have no control over how another responds. But you are being invited here to show up to this beautiful, warm, rich table. Death wanted to come out today. Your card, I love this one. It's come out a couple of times this month. I mean, we are heading into Scorpio season after all. What would Scorpio season be without a little bit of the Grim Reaper? But this is a death and rebirth time, and part of that for you is not so much about the destruction. This time around, it's about the active choosing into who you want to be now, where you want to go next. And with that, though, you do notice that there's a past version of self back on that past shore that you can't get back to, and that is leaving now. And so you may be noticing there's some discomfort in that. You're in new territory. You're in a new way of doing things, and it may be unfamiliar. It may feel really unfamiliar and uncertain and kind of like, I don't know how to navigate this space. I've never seen this place before. I don't have a map. My cartography is not in order for this new season. And keep in mind, too, that, Mercury retrograde in your sign is actually a really beautiful thing, and we're going to get into that in November as we continue through Scorpio season. But the pre-shadow phase is starting to give us information about that. And then Mercury retrograde itself is going to be a lot about you integrating, internalizing, and checking in with yourself, and really getting some clarity and some precision on that. So kind of be thinking about October as well as that prep for that, and the information that comes up in pre-shadow can be really useful. So this is just a time for you to kind of get a much better sense of where you are on this path. I love you so much. You know how I feel about you all. We have a really deep connection. I'm an 8th house Leo. I have a lot of energy in my 8th house, so I'm always connected to you all. I'm really excited too because I started my Patreon where I'm going to be hosting a whole bunch of extra stuff. Weekly astrology write-ups. I'm going to do a Pluto direct video for you all, so that you get a feel for that. I'm going to be doing a Mercury retrograde and Scorpio video there. I will be doing new content every week so that you get a sense of what's going on and how to use your magic and how to be in this world, and what some of the ideas and tips and tricks that I have. And I'm also going to be talking about my own personal journey over there. So it's a really great way to connect with me a lot more, and you get access to everything once you join up. So I'm really excited to share that with you and to add so much more content. You can also find me on Instagram at Sarah Verba. I have just a few sessions left, I believe, on my calendar for the rest of 2019. So if you're interested in that, I would highly recommend hopping over there and booking a session if you're looking for a one-on-one reading with me. All of my info is going to be in the description box, so you can find out where to find me on all of those places. I'm also wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry as always. She's always got something up her sleeve on her Etsy shop, so I'll leave her link below as well. I will see you all in November for more Scorpio magic. I'm very excited for this time of year. I love it. I'm connected with you guys. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you in November. Mwah.